Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Supreme Court grants Attorney General's Department 7 days to file a statement of case in a constitutional challenge that could redefine the prosecutorial authority of the Special Prosecutor. Also on the program this afternoon, legal luminary TsatsuTsikata calls for reparations for residents of Santrokofi, Akpafu, Likpe and Lolobi, SALL, after they were denied representation in Ghana's 8th Parliament. And much later on the program, oil marketing companies adjust pumps prices at the start of the second pricing window of April, effective today. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. The legal scrutiny around the powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor is intensifying, with development in both the Supreme Court and the High Court drawing national attention. Today, the Supreme Court granted the Attorney General 7 days to file a statement of case in a constitutional challenge that could redefine the prosecutorial authority of a Special Prosecutor. The case, which has been pending for nearly a year, is challenging the constitutional basis of the Office of the Special Prosecutor's investigative and prosecutorial powers. Filed under Article 2.1 and invoking the interpretative jurisdiction of the court under Article 130, the suit raises questions about whether Parliament can vest prosecutorial authority in the Special Prosecutor when Article 88 of the Constitution reserves that power for the Attorney General. At today's sitting, a Chief State Attorney representing the Attorney General explained that delays in filing the statement of case were due to what she described as unavoidable administrative procedures. Deborah Mensah was in court. She joins us live on the phone. Debbie, how did things pan out in court today?
Okay, so today the Supreme Court granted the Attorney General 7 days to file a statement of case in the constitutional challenge that's called Hello?
Hello, Deborah. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so in the constitutional challenge, that could redefine the prosecutorial authority of the Special Prosecutor. In the previous sitting, the Special Prosecutor made an attempt to join the case, which was dismissed by the court, which held the Attorney General has the proper party to defend the law. So at today's sitting, the Chief State Attorney who represented the Attorney General, Stella Ohene Apia, she filed a motion representing that and explained that the delays in filing the statement of case were due to what she described as unavoidable administrative procedures. And the court, with the judge who seated in the case, questioned that why that the previous sitting they did not file an affidavit attached to this statement to actually declare that they needed another extension to file their statement of case. So she made the case that there was an unavoidable administrative procedure. But interestingly, the applicant's lawyer, Noah Ephraim Tete Adamke, wasn't present. In the previous sitting, he rather made a statement that the Attorney General was dragging the case because it has almost been a year. So it's interesting how he was not present at the court today. So this is the development coming up from this one.
And do we know when the agenda date is?
Okay, so they've been given 7 days. So the next hearing will be after that 7 days for them to file their statement of case.
Thank you very much, Deborah Mensah, a reporter currently monitoring this very case in court for us. Meanwhile, retired Supreme Court Justice William Atuguba says the High Court's decision in the case between the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Attorney General is not final and can be appealed at the Supreme Court. He made the remarks after the High Court ruled that the Special Prosecutor lacks prosecutorial powers. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has since announced plans to challenge the ruling. Let's listen to Justice William Atuguba speaking earlier.
I would have thought there's a Supreme Court that determines constitutionality.
Friends from GNPC.
But it's not so straightforward because where the matter is straightforward, the court
from the Oxbridge Club
might apply the Constitution. There's difference between applying the Constitution and enforcing the Constitution. It's a technical lesson.
And immediately after that, we will have the CEO.
And unless I see the proceedings, I can determine whether what the judge did fitted into application of the Constitution or enforcement, which belongs to the Supreme Court. What the court has done, and what I've read in the papers, is to take away the prosecution powers from the OSP. But the investigative power, the power to investigate, I don't know what's touched upon. So long as the investigative powers have not been struck down, maybe those can continue. The High Court decision is not final. I think there's an appeal also. They can question it in the Supreme Court. Until the Supreme Court finally determines, we can't say that it's over.
And you heard the retired Supreme Court Justice William Atuguba. We stay at the courts because private legal practitioner TsatsuTsikata has called for reparations for residents of Santrokofi, Akpafu, Likpe and Lolobi SALL, saying they were unjustly denied parliamentary representation during Ghana's 8th Parliament. He explained that the situation followed the creation of the Otu region under Constitutional Instrument 112, which left the communities without a member of parliament after the 2020 general election. Delivering a lecture at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, Mr. Tsikata said that later administrative steps, including the creation of the Guan constituency ahead of the 2024 elections, do not fully address the harm caused. He argued that residents were deprived not only of representation, but also development opportunities tied to having an MP. The SALL matter remains before the court as affected residents continue to seek redress. Here is Mr. Tsikata speaking earlier.
Judicial remedy for the disenfranchisement in December 2020 of Ghanaians in the SALL traditional areas is still pending. It cannot be said that the subsequent creation of a Guan district and a Guan constituency are sufficient to remedy the injustice to the people of SALL. For one thing, the mere denomination of a district and a constituency does not provide the development resources that are the legitimate aspiration of the people. For the period they lacked representation in Parliament and a share of the resources that could have been available through a member of Parliament, I dare say they are owed reparation. The historic injustice of the declaration by the EC of the election of a member of Parliament for a constituency to which they belong but were denied a vote in awaits judicial resolution. Please remember that the EC itself has admitted that it would have been illegal to have asked the voters in those areas to vote in the Boem constituency in December 2020. Yet, that is what the constitutional instrument which the EC has claimed in its defense to the election petition to be the applicable instrument. That is what that instrument would have required. There is an unsettling judicial contradiction, which I must also point out. While the Supreme Court in respect of SALL insisted that an election petition in the High Court was the only way to invalidate an election petition, when it came to an action initiated in the Supreme Court to invalidate the result of a parliamentary election in Asin North, the Supreme Court dismissed an objection to its jurisdiction to invalidate the parliamentary election.
And you have the legal luminary TsatsuTsikata. In some other news, a major technical fault at the Ghana National Gas Company processing plant on Wednesday triggered power supply disruptions across parts of the country. The fault, caused by the complete failure of a key control system within the plant heat medium system, forced an emergency shutdown and a temporary cut in gas supply to thermal power plant. In a joint statement with the Ghana Grid Company, officials say that the damaged system will require full replacement. And while engineers undertake a comprehensive technical and safety assessment, let's speak to Richard Kirk-Mensah, who is Head of Corporate Communications at Ghana Gas. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello?
Yep.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon to you. If you can tell us really the update you have in terms of the technical fault leading to the temporary shutdown of the thermal plant. Hello, Mr. Kirk-Mensah, can you hear us? All right, we seem to have an issue with the spokesperson for the Ghana Gas. We'll try and restore that line and get him or have that conversation. But ahead of that, after years of delay, Ghana's 60 billion petroleum hub earmarked for Jomoro in the Western region is back on track, says the CEO, Dr. Tony Obin. He states that the land needed has been slashed from 20,000 to 5,000, with the energy minister scheduled to lay before Parliament an executive instrument to finalize the land acquisition by July. The Petroleum Hub project has stalled for years now due to challenges with land acquisition. And my colleague, Rama Smith, brought us this report as well.
At its conception, government proposed to establish the $60 billion petroleum hub on 20,000 acres of land in Jomoro district of the Western region. But challenges with the land acquisition process delayed it till the government, under the leadership of President Mahama, resolved to cut down the size of land to 5,000 acres to allow for the project to take off. Addressing journalists after a courtesy House of Chiefs, the CEO of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, Dr. Tony Obin, explained that the executive instrument will inform government on the payment of compensation regarding the land acquired for the project. He assured Ghanaians of the government's commitment to deliver on the project.
So, as I speak to you, in the next week or two, we are going back to the land with my team, trying to finalize the process of acquisition. We are also going to publish the intention to acquire the land very soon, which is a huge step forward. You know, once all these things are done, then the issue of payment of compensation comes up. Without that, you can't talk about compensation. Without that, we can't talk about we having land. We always say we have land in Jomoro, but the land doesn't belong to government yet. It belongs to the landowners. Once it has been acquired according to law, according to the dictate of Act 2020, Act 1036, that is when the land becomes government land.
Expressing hope that some significant milestones will be accomplished before the year ends.
This year, when Petroleum Hub had our own meetings, we said this must be year of action, not year of talk.
Meanwhile, the president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Kobnan Ketia V, and the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson have pledged their commitment to making the project a reality.
This is a project that must be done, and we shouldn't fear about it. Nkrumah did the Volta River Authority. Why can't we do this, especially when it's not for fun, when it is needed? This is a project not needed by the Western region, not needed by Ghana. It's Africa that needs it. So we have to do this for the sake of Africa.
We in the Western region are happy about. My prayer as regional minister is that we will continue to work hard to ensure that the project moves from being a dream to something real that we can, point to.
Rama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
Let's bring you some more here. And spare parts dealers in Kumasi, led by the Ashanti Regional Leadership of Ghana Spare Parts Dealers Association, have mounted strong resistance against the introduction of the AI-powered valuation system at the ports, describing it as a major threat to their survival. At a press conference marked by chants and visible frustration, the dealers openly rejected the system and called on the government to immediately abolish it. Let's listen to William Evans Inkum, actually the chairman who engaged correspondent William Evans Inkum earlier.
The leadership of Kumasi Spare Parts Dealers Association wished to bring to the attention of the government and the general public a matter of grave concern affecting the trading community in Ashanti region and, for that matter, the entire country. Prior to the assumption of office by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a meeting was held with GUTA members at AH Hotel in East Legon. During that engagement, a clear and assuring promise was made to implement a flat rate duty system on goods at the ports and ease the burden on traders and promote business growth. However, there has been no visible effort or policy direction reflecting that commitment. Notably, 2 national budgets have been presented to the public, yet neither has addressed this promise. This has led many traders feeling concerned and uncertain about the future of our businesses. Instead, the publican AI system has been introduced at our ports. While we acknowledge the importance of modernization and not opposed to the implementation of an AI system, the current outcome has seen an increase in our duty raised by a margin of 2 times and 3 times compared to our old duties. This increase has placed an overwhelming financial strain on importers and traders, making it difficult to sustain our businesses. We wish to make it clear that we, the spare part dealers in Kumasi, are not against paying taxes, nor are we resistant to technological advancement. Our concern lies in the excessive burden these charges have created. The current situation is simply not sustainable for many businesses. In this view, we respectfully call on the government to revisit this issue with urgency and fairness. We are giving the government a 2-week period to address and resolve these concerns.
And you heard the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Spare Parts Dealers Association in Kumasi. Let's return to our earlier story about that technical fault at the Ghana National Gas Company processing plant on Wednesday, which triggered some power supply disruptions across parts of the country. We're joined again by Mr. Richard Kirkmensa. He's head of corporate communications at Ghana Gas. Hopefully you can hear us this time around. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Beatrice.
What's the update on the technical fault which led to the temporary shutdown of the thermal plant?
Yeah, as at 10 p.m. last night, our plant came back on stream. And this morning, as we speak, we are doing about 90 mm scarf. That is, we are producing lean gas to car power and other power plants. So that fear can be alleviated now because we are back on stream. What really happened was that on the 14th, that was Tuesday, as at 10 a.m., the burner management system, which controls the heat medium system of the plant, suddenly went off. And that resulted in the shutdown of the plant. Yesterday, the Minister of Energy summoned a very emergency meeting to address the challenge. And management of Ghana Gas immediately has request for a new machine to replace the faulty one. And this afternoon, I'm told that the new part has arrived in the country and it is being transported to the site for fixing. What we did was that whilst the automated system went off, the engineers of Ghana Gas used their technology to use an alternative means, that is the manual approach to on the plant. That's why we were able to come on stream yesterday, and as we speak, we are producing lean gas to the power plant.
Yes, but we were also told earlier by officials that the damaged system will require full replacement, which is what you mentioned briefly as well. What would that mean for power production across the country? Should we still expect
the replacement?
Should we still expect some maybe power interruptions?
No, as we speak, there's no cause for alarm. There has been a swift move to replace the faulty machine, and as I told you earlier, the machine is in country at the moment and is being transported to our operating site at the moment. So roughly by the close of day today, I'm pretty sure they will fix the machine and will return to the automated system to give us a constant lean gas supply.
Thank you very much. You heard that Richard Kirk-Mensah. He is Head of Corporate Communications at the Ghana Gas. Thank you so much for sharing or bringing us those updates. Now, years of protracted unrest in Boko continue to cast a long shadow over developments in the area as renewed calls for peace take center stage amid fresh government interventions. The conflict, rooted in a long-standing chieftaincy dispute between the Kusase and Mamprusi ethnic groups, has spanned decades, with periodic outbreaks of violence leading to loss of lives, destruction of property, and the disruption of economic and social activities. Over the years, curfews, heavy security presence, and intermittent clashes have slowed infrastructure development and limited access to essential services, leaving many communities in the municipality struggling. At a sword-cutting ceremony to commence a series of development projects in Boko Central, the Member of Parliament for the area and Majority Leader Mahama Yariga appealed to residents to sustain the prevailing calm, stressing that ongoing and planned projects depend heavily on stability.
Plead with all of us. Many of the contractors have been unwilling to come and work in Boko, and you know why. You know why many of the contractors are reluctant to come and work in Boko. So I urge you, the youth, even as we have our small disagreements, which, we are not managing the best way that it can be managed, I want to plead with all of you that what we are seeing, which is the attempt to start infrastructure jobs here, is for the benefit of all of us. So when the workers come, please protect them. When the machinery are in your neighborhood, please protect them. You will need the roads. You will need the school blocks. You need the teacher accommodation. You need the toilets. You need all those infrastructure, the hospitals. So when people come from elsewhere to live here and provide us with all the services needed for us to carry out these infrastructure projects, we have a duty to make sure that they are well protected. So I plead with the young people that no matter what you do, never make anybody involved in the infrastructure projects in the constituency your target, because that's the day that you will spell doom for all of us. Because if all the work stops, I don't know when again we'll have an opportunity. We'll have a John Dramani Mahama as a president who is willing to pay attention to the infrastructure development of Boko. So I plead with you. And then lastly, also to say that when the situation in the municipality improves further, it has improved, but when it improves further, there are some parts of the municipality that are presently inaccessible to contractors. When those areas become equally accessible to contractors, I want to assure you that projects will also be sent to those areas to ensure an even development of the municipality.
And you had the Majority Leader and the Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga. Rising concerns over robbery and other criminal activities in the Bibiani Ayuaso Bekwai municipality have intensified calls for urgent security interventions. This comes as police record indicates a sharp rise in reported robbery cases by about 40% within the first quarter of 2026. theft and burglary incidents have also surged by nearly 18%, while nighttime attacks on residents and traders continue to heighten fear among community members. Let's listen to one resident who shared an experience with us.
Is that whenever you have an issue and you approach the police or call them, they will promise that they will be coming. But you take them some minutes or some hours, you will be there, they will not come. When you approach them again, they will see a lot of things. Actually, we are not aware of their actual reason. But what we know that whenever you call them, they will tell you they will be coming, but they will not come. Whenever you want to take action or maybe some issue, serious issue, you want to approach them, they will tell you that they will be coming, but they will not come. You actually don't know the issue. You actually don't know whether they have some logistic issues or sort of that, but they are not coming as we are expecting of them. Yes.
Let's speak to our Western North Regional Correspondent Matthew Ahiavi, who joins us live on the phone. Matthew, if you can tell us more about the situation there and what authorities are doing about it.
Yeah, Judith, good afternoon. Beatrice, good afternoon. In fact, when you come to Western North or Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai, let me say Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai, police here are under logistics, more especially vehicles when it comes to robbery and those crime incidents. So, due to this, the MP for Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai promised the service of helping them. And some days ago, he delivered on at least one promise. He promised the service. So that is, as you can see, they gave a vehicle, a Toyota vehicle, to the police to support their operation. Even though that wasn't much, but he promised them of more if the opportunities come. So currently, this is what is going on. And also, residents are always complaining when they call the police. They don't attend to their calls. Sometimes it's due to this logistical challenges, because looking at the incident they will report, the police have to go there with a vehicle, and sometimes the one vehicle they have to go to other places before attending to them. So it's putting the residents in a tight corner as I'm talking to you.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew Ahiavi. He's a Western North Regional Correspondent. Let's listen to the Divisional Commander for the area, ACP Samson Akpafu.
Today is not just a ceremonial occasion. It is a clear demonstration of leadership, commitment, and action in the interest of our people. I stand before you with a deep sense of responsibility to present this brand new pickup vehicle at a cost of 600,000 Ghana cedis to the Ghana Police Service, the Bibiani Divisional Command, in fulfillment of my promise to support security in our constituency. Security is not optional. It is essential. Without peace and safety, there can be no meaningful development, no thriving businesses, and no future for our young people. That is why, as a member of parliament, I've made it a priority to invest in the safety and stability of Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai municipality. The Ghana Police Service has been at the forefront of maintaining law and order, often under very challenging conditions. Your dedication and sacrifice do not go unnoticed. Today, this vehicle is not just a donation. It is a statement that you have hard work and that you have a partner in leadership who is ready to support you. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership must be seen not only in words, but in action. This intervention is part of a broader commitment to ensure that our constituency continues to experience peace, growth, and opportunity. When our communities are safe, our markets grow, our businesses expand, and our youth can pursue their dreams with confidence.
And you heard rather the Member of Parliament for the Western North region, bright as Samoa Brefo. That's it for the Midday News here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to 3news.com for more news.
Welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, fuel prices begin marginal decline as OMCs adjust pump rates under new pricing window and government intervention. Also, CD faces renewed depreciation pressure despite strongest first quarter stability in 6 years amid import demand and global commodity risks. And later, mobile money fintech undertakes platform security checks, temporarily suspends some Momo SIMs over regulatory compliance concerns. I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories lined up for you. Do stay tuned. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. Now, fuel prices have started easing at the pumps as oil marketing companies implement new rates for the second pricing window of April, following revised benchmarks by the National Petroleum Authority and government measures to cushion consumers. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
Fuel prices in Ghana are beginning to trend downward, offering some relief to consumers after weeks of sustained increases. This follows the rollout of new pump prices by oil marketing companies at the start of the second pricing window for April, effective Thursday, April 16, 2026. The adjustments come after the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) revised its minimum pricing benchmarks alongside recent government interventions aimed at stabilizing fuel costs. Star Oil has reduced the price of petrol by 3 pesos per litre, bringing it down from 13 cedis 30 pesos to 13 cedis 27 pesos. Diesel, however, saw a more significant drop of 1 cedi per litre, falling from 17 cedis 10 pesos to 16 cedis 10 pesos. Its RON 95 product has also been adjusted downward to 14 cedis 67 pesos per litre. State-owned Gold has similarly aligned its prices, with petrol now selling at 13 cedis 27 pesos, while diesel is going for 16 cedis 10 pesos. Its Super XP 95 price, however, remains unchanged. Government has also stepped in to absorb 2 cedis per litre on diesel and 36 pesos on petrol, a move expected to support further marginal reductions in the coming days. More oil marketing companies are anticipated to review their prices as the new pricing window takes effect.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Meanwhile, energy policy analysts say government's latest fuel price cut falls short of expectations despite a reduction in pump prices announced on Wednesday. The Africa Sustainable Energy Center had projected at least a 1 cedi reduction in petrol prices, but government cut petrol by 36 pesos while diesel price were reduced by 2 cedis. The center says the measure, although welcome, do not go far enough to ease pressure on consumers. The reduction approved by Cabinet is aimed at cushioning households, transport operators and businesses from rising costs linked to tensions in the Middle East. The intervention is, however, temporary and will remain in place for just 1 month. While analysts acknowledge the relief provided, they argue more aggressive measures could have been implemented to better protect consumers.
We feel the government could reduce it a little more further. We were calling strongly for at least 1 cedi reduction on petrol. That was what we were strongly calling for. And then the government did 0.36, which we think we accept it, but then we think the government can do better. Yeah, the 1 cedi war levy has to be taken off and then subsequently scrapped. We've been talking about it since last year.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, says the drop in diesel prices exceeded expectations, offering some relief to commercial transport operators. But it is urging government to be transparent about the specific taxes and levies that were adjusted to achieve the reductions.
In the spirit of transparency and accountability, one would have expected some breakdowns be provided. Unfortunately, you are given lump figures, and so what constitutes the 2 cedi, what constitutes the 36 pesos, you are not told. But we will keep pushing for these specifics.
Looking ahead, the Africa Sustainable Energy Center is calling for a more diversified energy mix to help shield the economy from future global shocks.
We need to diversify it. If we're having luxury of a lot of solar and then wind energy in the system, if there are any fluctuations within the oil and gas sector, we will not find ourselves into some of these issues. And then within the transport system as well, we have to introduce a lot of electric vehicles so that if there's any future, if there's any fluidity within the oil and gas sector, we will not find ourselves wanting. So we are calling heavily in investing strongly into electric vehicles as well.
You heard the Engineer Justice Ohene Akoto. He's the Executive Director of the Africa Sustainable Energy Center. Also earlier, you heard Duncan Amwa, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC. Now, away from that, the Ghana cedi is expected to weaken further towards the end of 2026, despite recording its most stable first quarter performance in 6 years, as rising import demand and energy-related payments begin to weigh on the currency. The local currency lost 4.4% to the US dollar in the first quarter of 2026, closing March at 10 cedis 98 pesos. This marks its smallest first quarter decline in 6 years and is significantly below the 8.7% average depreciation recorded over the same period.
Research firms Black Star and Databank are projecting the cedi to weaken to between 12 cedis 60 pesos and 12 cedis 85 pesos to the dollar by December, representing an estimated 15% drop from current levels. Despite this outlook, the cedi's performance reflects a broader economic recovery. The currency has strengthened significantly from the 15 cedis 53 pesos recorded in early 2025, supported by the IMF program, debt restructuring, and a surge in gold export earnings. Inflation has also declined sharply to 3.2% in March, while interest rates continue to ease, with Treasury bill yields falling into single digits for the first time since the debt crisis. Analysts say external risks, including rising global oil prices driven by tensions between the United States and Iran, could further pressure the cedi by increasing Ghana's import bill. At the same time, higher gold prices may provide some relief by boosting export earnings and supporting foreign reserves. Overall, while the cedi's recent gains signal improved macroeconomic stability, sustained pressures from global and seasonal factors are expected to test its resilience in the months ahead.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Now, Mobile Money Fintech Limited has temporarily suspended the SIM cards of some mobile money customers as it carries out routine checks on its Momo agent platform. The company says the exercise is aimed at strengthening platform security and ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. According to Mobile Money Fintech, agents found to have committed minor infractions will receive warnings, while those with moderate breaches will face temporary suspensions. Accounts linked to serious violation will be permanently terminated. The company says it has engaged affected agents and has already restored some accounts while investigations into others are still ongoing. We'll be following this development and we'll bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. And that's how we end today's edition of Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for tuning in. As always, please stay safe.